welcome back to That Dad Guy. Today we're going to talk about stamps, and specifically this envelope that came from Linda in Georgia in the United States. You can see the stamps that she's included on the front, and inside she did a card like this that kind of told me about what she was including. She also talked about she got a new pen because the last pen she had for another card that she put in here that was answering my question for April, she said it ran a bit, so she got a different one. So that's good to know, because I am in the market for some new pens. I've been using these gel pens, and I really like the way they work, and they don't really smear too much. But the problem I've heard that is when they get a little damp in traveling, the ink starts to run. So I'm going to look to see what else I can find. I have heard that Sharpie pens, though, the fine point ones might do the trick. So I'm going to keep with the same brand and see what else I can find for pens. But yeah, Linda said that she had a pen issue, swapped it out, and things worked out great. Now, she included a few things in way of stamps, so I thought I'd show you what she included. She always gives a hint with the stamps she puts on the cover of the envelope of what she might be including on the inside as well, too. So if you see those stamps, what might your thought be on what's inside? Let's find out. All right, we're starting with a little US postage, but it's vintage. So we've got a lot of older stamps that she's included this time, which is really cool. I'll really have to go through my father's American stamp collection to see which ones she's missing out of it. I'm sure there'll be lots of ones here that will be new for it. So thank you so much. And the imagery back then was very good. Now we have multiple colors and all sorts of things. Early on with stamps, they didn't really go into a lot of different colors. You might have had different shades, maybe 2, maybe 3 colors on a stamp, but not lots and lots. You can see these ones, they've done so much with just shading more than anything else. But this one is really interesting too. The 200th anniversary of the Nassau Hall. You don't see a lot of stamps in that color. 4-H Club. Stop on these stamps. You really appreciate the amount of artwork that's gone into them. A little bit for everyone, I would say, in these stamps. Subject matter is all over the place. If you like gardening, you like architecture, you like presidents, you like memorials. Maybe your favorite state is also on here somewhere. The U.S. Coast Guard. And you can see with the denominations of these stamps, mostly 3-cent stamps. So they came out a long time ago. Not sure if I have a favorite from these ones or not. There's lots of good subject matter. I was watching John in England talking about stamps, and he'd mentioned how, you know, we talk about the matrons in the U.S. postal system that have all the monarchs on them, and how in the early U.S. stamps they put their presidents on them. Usually the founding fathers. You didn't have any of the more modern day presidents on it, but he was kind of wondering why they didn't continue with presidents. And I guess, yeah, some presidents you wouldn't necessarily want on your stamps, I guess, is the moral of the story. Or they only pick the presidents that have really made an impact early on. All right, that was a cool bunch of vintage stamps, but she wasn't done. She sent a second packet of stamps too. They weren't necessarily U.S. stamps, but had a different theme to them that she knew I might appreciate. And that is shaped stamps. I really love shaped stamps. So here you've got 2 triangle stamps. They're actually 2 separate ones, but they've got 2 different images. They would go together. So this one happened to be hinged together, which is cool. Then a single triangle floral stamp. And another triangle floral stamp, this one from Poland. Here you've got a nice diamond stamp, which easily switches into a square stamp, but this is the way it goes with the image, so it does make it a shaped stamp. And then Japan. Japan has some of the coolest shape stamps out there, in my opinion, that I've seen so far. I may come across another country that has different ones, but from what I've seen from stamps that Kyler has sent me from Japan, and now the ones that Linda has sent, they really make some good shaped stamps. You see, this one just has a little bit of the base sticking out the top, so it makes it into a shape stamp. And then this one here, the floral series, where the flower is bursting through from the stamp. There's been a few Canadian stamps that have done this same thing. I really like when they do this. It does make it awkward if you buy a book of stamps, because they put less in the book when you have stamps that are shaped like this. Instead of getting a dozen in, you might only get 6 stamps or something, or 8 stamps in. Well, there you go. There are the shape stamps, alongside the US vintage stamps. That makes for a really nice collection of stamps. Thank you once again, Linda, for contributing to the channel by passing along a few stamps from your collection. It's interesting to see what's come out in the past. I guess we can't look towards the future, but we can look at what presently is being produced as far as postage stamps in our countries. And sometimes when you look back at some of the older stamps, they really did it right. They took a limited color palette and used shading more than anything in order to create a beautiful image. The subject matter has always been diverse, and we continue to do that with postage stamps today. It's very nice to see. And then when you see creativity in postage stamps, mind my fingers holding it, I guess I should have been using these, but yeah, I'm not as proficient with the tongs as other philatelists seem to be, but very good images there on those. I really like the shapes. So she picked up on that. I've said that in the past with stamps that I've received, whether they be on postcards from post crossing or going through albums of my father's collection and noticing that there's different stamps in there. But yeah, I do appreciate something different when it comes to the postage stamp. Not always the square or the rectangle stamp is the way to go. If you've got the option as a post office, make a change, make something different, make it fun for people to receive on their envelopes, on their postcards. Why not? When it comes to snail mail and people writing letters, it's been on a decline. As a member who works for the post office, we want to see our letters continue to go, and people still enjoy receiving them. So why not make it fun with putting a interesting postage stamp that has a good story about something that's happened in the past, or maybe celebrating someone that's presently doing something that's amazing. It's kind of neat to see stamps like that too. You don't hear those stories nearly as often. People tend to celebrate the deceased more than they do people that are making an impact today. So maybe we'll see more of that in the future too. All right, well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the stamps that Linda sent from Georgia. I really appreciate what she does for the channel. So thank you so much, Linda. And for everyone else, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.